Hello, everyone, and welcome to My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 1 review. This episode was honestly boring beyond belief for me, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you, I saw it coming. My Hero Academia always does this. They ease into things. And that's great for a reason that, they're saving their budget, I guess, and they're getting us ready for the more intense scenes. But the very first thing this season opens up with is a flashback to the fight between Endeavor and Nomu. Don't get me wrong, I love Endeavor, I love the character arc, I actually like seeing it again, but for a person that's going to be watching through, especially from season 4 directly to season 5, this is not needed. But you know what? We'll take it. It's a break. It was expected. Not much happens in this episode. Pretty much the kids are just going over. We get a little bit of insight into everybody seeing that Todoroki's dad is actually doing great as a hero. And they look at him and they're like, "Hey, Todoroki, you're proud of your dad now." And Todoroki's like, "I'm not. But yeah, I am." You know, I mean, what is he going to say? It's a broken family life with a great hero as a father. So he's trying to come to terms with that. And we see that and the alarms go off. And the alarms go off and it says, "Hey, we have villains outside. They're not real villains." So, if you guys can't guess, the real villains, I mean, I said real villains. I said they're not real villains. The not real villains are Mirio and his group. I forget their names. Just give me a quick second here. Mhm. I'm not gonna lie, that recap episode, even though they tell me everybody's names, I forget. The girl is Nahire, the guy is Tamaki, the one that always wants to go home, and we all know Mirio. So the funny thing is, they're still called the Big Three. I would be a little bit, you know, I would think about that a little bit because Mirio no longer has the same level of powers at all. I mean, after the whole incident he had, what are we gonna do? So Mirio, I don't know if we'd call it the big three. He falls in the water. He's like, "Help me! I've fallen. I need help. I've fallen in the river." So they go ahead and help him. Funnily enough, during the fights while they're fighting the other two, Mirio sees an explosion and he just falls off the edge. You just see him throw himself off, and his head is just swirling in the water. And all that scene was hilarious to me. It shows that the company is actually reserving a lot of their budget for a little bit more of a serious thing, or like things where the fights are intense. And you know what? I can appreciate that. But all that really happens is Nahire, which is the female, goes straight up in the air and she's using her spiral powers to blast everyone. And she's taking one of them hostage. So Invisible Girl sneaks up behind, gets her loose. Everybody works together. The only weird thing about this to me is this is an entire class of like 1A versus just these three people, and one of which doesn't even have powers, and he's pretending to be a damsel in distress. So, I mean, I feel like it should have been easy, and it was for them, but you know what? It's okay. They catch her, they net her the first time, and then, creation expert makes another net, throws a net at her, and nails her to the wall, and she's nailed. And she's stuck in the net. All of a sudden, what's his name? Give me a sec here. Tamaki, that's what it is. Tamaki is like, "Well, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I'd rather be home than here." And he tries to leave, but then he's like, "Well, they're going to be mad at me. I have to do my best for them and for you. Everybody wants the best for you guys." So the heroes are like, "Okay, let's fight." And you know what? He puts up a little bit of a fight. And Midoriya, they set him up. They're fighting. They're fighting. They're fighting. Midoriya is set up for a punch. Midoriya goes into punch, and he just stops about a centimeter before he hits the face. And he's like, "I still see you as a student and as a upperclassman. Please surrender." And you know what? Tamaki says, "No, I'm a villain. You should have punched," and smacks Midoriya aside. I wish he smacked him a little bit harder because, come on, Midoriya. I mean, you gotta get with the times here, man. We're having a little bit of a trial run. We're not saying to go 100% kill yourself, kill him, but we're saying use the majority of your power. You don't need to go all out. We know what happens when you go out. We all out. We don't want you to hurt yourself, but we also want to see your level of ability. I'm sure that's not going to get him a great score. And they even mention this at the beginning of the episode where they say, you know what? Midoriya and Bakugo, you guys are the only ones that are behind. Which is really funny because after that scene, right, we then cut back to Baki. Baki. Did I just say Baki? I said Bakugo. I wanted to say Bakugo. Bakugo at the very beginning took off with this electric dude and rock dude, and they went flying and they found a car. I guess they jacked the car because electric dude is using his electricity to power it. They're flying. They throw a Kirishima rock dude at them, and then Bakugo comes out of nowhere and just smashes Tamaki in the face and absolutely smashes him. And you know what? This is the difference between Deku and Bakugo. Bakugo does it, Deku doesn't. Deku is way too soft, and it's going to get people around him hurt eventually. And although we all see him as a hero, he does still have his flaws. Baki then proceeds to say, "You weren't going all out at me," when in reality, when he was jumping at Tamaki the first time, Tamaki got scared and wasn't able to respond. And Tamaki gives up on life, and he just stays there like, I'm dead. And Bakugo blows up. You see the death cloud, and the principal is like, or Aizawa is like, okay, I need to see Bakugo. Go get Bakugo. And you know what? We see why both of them aren't up to the level of the rest of the class. Even though some of them weren't doing anything really, they just kind of stood there, especially Animal Guy is like, yeah, they're over there. Or Earphone Jack. I mean, honestly, these abilities are kind of bad. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Koji, I think his name is, to do with all the animal powers that can talk to all the animals. He's cool, but like Earphone Jack, I mean, we've seen her do a few cool things. She's a great musician, I'll give her that. But in terms of a hero, I don't know. Even they're finished. Bakugo and Deku are the only ones that haven't been, and it's really interesting how even though they were told this at the very beginning of the episode, they didn't really take it to heart, and they just kind of did their own thing still, and pretty much that's the end of the episode. So because this is the first episode coming back in, we had a lot of intros so we could remember who everybody was because they've expected us to forget after so long. And I mean, it helped the episode because the flashbacks was the most exciting, some of the most exciting things in the entire episode. So that was great to see. But you know what? Let's just see what happens in the next episode because I have 3 episodes lined up for my first 3 reviews of the channel. So, you know, overall, I'd give this episode maybe a 3 out of 10. It's definitely a below average episode for the My Hero Academia series in general. There is a lot of talking. The action is there, but it's not like it's not good. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of here, a little bit of here. The fighting is pretty low stakes. Everything is low stakes. It's more slice of life. Let's just have like a baseball tournament almost. I've seen baseball tournaments in anime have more oomph to them. I mean, there's not much to say. It's the first episode, but you know what? We'll give them a break. Hopefully, the next episode is way better. Let me know what you guys think in the description. Description. Oh my god, I did that again. The comments down below. And you know what? I hope you subscribe, like the channel, and you know what? I'll see you guys next